I know. The title of this video, you probably might have gotten triggered. It's an unpopular opinion and everything. So, yeah, I'll explain myself. I do think that you should compare yourself to others. Let me turn on this lamp first. Jeez. Why isn't it working? Oh, sorry. Let me just connect this. Oh my god. There we go. Just this one. Look. This wasn't connected. There you go. Better light. Now you can see my beautiful face better. I'm kidding. I'm ugly as shit. Don't do negative self-talk like me. Okay? Alright, let me just get down a little bit. Awesome. Alright, so let me just put it like this side. Is this better? I don't know. Well, anyways, I do think that you should compare yourself to others in one way or another. Like, a lot of studies and a lot of people, because it has been their experience, they've said that being on social media can destroy a person's confidence. They can make them feel terrible, absolutely terrible about their lives, about everything, And it is true. It can make you feel like shit. It can make you feel like your life is not that good because people, post their highlights about their lives, and obviously they're only people that have something to post about are going to post about the things that they do. Obviously, there's some people who aren't that active in their lives. They do the same thing every day, or at least they are in a chapter of their lives where they do the same thing every single day. They don't have adventures or anything, And there's people that do. There's people that go out. They live a different day. They do a different thing, and yeah, like they post it, and then you see that you could say Instagram stories. That's the example that I'm using right now of your friends or somebody that you follow simply, but mostly your friends because those are the people you can relate most to because there's people like you could say at your level because of course you're probably not a homeless person and you're not a billionaire. You're obviously in between, right? So that is what I mean by people in your level. Those are the people that you can relate to the most. And like most definitely you have friends that are at your level. You could say at least in many dimensions it could be, but at least one of them could be, for example, financially, you know, and being financially, you could say, strong is what enables you to have those experiences that you can then post online or whatever, because you can post about many things, maybe even your marriage or whatever. Like it doesn't have to be necessarily financial, but the thing is, yes, there does exist a difference in between the activities of different people. There's some people who have boring lives, and there are some people that have very interesting lives. You could say, like it varies a lot. There's people that have agitated lives. There's people that have calm lives. So let's just leave it at that. It does vary a lot, and in many different ways for many different people. If you're a different person, you have different things. That's a general rule of life. That's basic logic, right? So, like I said, if you go to see those Instagram stories or whatever, if you see the things that people do, or maybe you're even in a conversation and the person's talking about all the things that they did, they're talking about like they're probably telling a story about what happened to them or what experience they had, and maybe everybody's listening and whatever table or place you guys are speaking on, or maybe they're just telling it to you. The possibilities are endless. But what I mean is you seeing what somebody else does and looking at yourself. That by itself is comparison because you are going to see a difference in between what they do and what you do. It's inevitable. You're going to see a difference. And that right there is comparison. It is almost involuntary. It's like an impulse that you probably can't even control. And like I said, it can make you feel like shit. At least if you're a guy, if you're a young guy, because that's what I can speak for. I cannot speak for example, older women. I'm not old and I'm not a woman, so I cannot speak on them. I cannot speak for them. But if you're a young guy that wants to accomplish many things and probably would prefer to improve their lives in any way, or is probably insecure or whatever, because a lot of guys could be insecure, and a lot of guys would probably want more than what they have, you know, and they know that they have to do something that they haven't done to get those things that they don't have. A lot of people want something. There's people that don't want anything. There's people that are completely content with their lives. Like they're 100% satisfied. That is, you could say rare. Maybe it is. I feel like it is. Some people are just content with their lives because they see themselves forced to accept their living conditions. And there are some people who are content because they arrived at where they wanted to arrive in life, you know? Or maybe because they didn't have such a standard or such an ambition for what they would have wanted for themselves. They are just happy with what they have. And I don't know if that's rare or not, but it is a common occurrence. It is something that happens in life. It is, and you can see that as a beautiful thing. Or not, I don't know. Like, whatever your perspective can be. So, sorry for jumping in between different topics. It is a problem that I have to fix. What I'm saying is that if you constantly say, "Oh, I won't compare myself to others," then let me be as frank as possible. Maybe if that's a word, frankly speaking, like objectively speaking or directly speaking, whatever. Like there's many terms that you could use to describe how you want what you say to get across as directly as possible. You aren't going to be living in a lie. You will be living in a lie if you constantly are afraid of comparing yourself to others. If you constantly try to prevent yourself from looking at other people's lives and then looking at yours, you're going to be living in a lie. And like I said, I'm speaking for young guys. If you see a guy that has a girlfriend and he has a great relationship, or that he's spending time with their family, and you probably have argued with your mom or your dad or whatever, and you don't have a really good environment in your home, that's just one example, because everybody has a family, or most people, at least most young guys have a family. You could say that I'm speaking mostly when it comes to America, Western society, because I'm speaking in English. So let's focus on that. And yeah, that could be just like one example. There's obviously also that guy that has a car and they can drive around, they can drive their friends around, or maybe even their girlfriend or whatever. And there's that guy that goes to a party and has a great time with their friends. There's that person who hangs out with their friends. It goes to a birthday party that you probably weren't invited to. There's always going to be that person doing more than you, or doing better than you. And I don't know what type of person you are, but I know that it does exist, this kind of person, or at least one of them does. I cannot speak for very specific cases, but I know that it does exist when a guy feels that he's empty because he sees that a lot of people do have things that he doesn't have in his life, that he hasn't attained, he hasn't accomplished, he hasn't gotten in their lives, he hasn't earned. And this is a very important thing that I'm about to say. A lot of people say that, oh, those are just their highlights. It reminds me of how a lot of people say that millionaires and billionaires, rich people in general, a lot of people say that, oh yeah, they're rich, they have this car, or this private jet, or this yacht, or these watches, or these purses, or this house, this mansion, this latest technology, these amazing clothes. But their lives are definitely probably shit behind all that, They probably have problems at home. They're probably doing terrible in some dimension of their lives. Come on. Everybody has problems. But you can, if you look for it, you will find it. That's something my dad always says. If you look for a problem that somebody has, because like I said, everybody has them, You will find it. You will find that every single rich person has some sort of problem. My grandparents are rich, and not disgustingly rich, but they are rich. They are millionaires. You could say in dollars, they are millionaires, multimillionaires. They have a business. They have a bakery. My maternal grandparents, and they have problems. Absolutely, they have problems, and they have a lot of flaws. And I do too. Everybody does. But a lot of people say those things to make themselves to feel better about themselves. They convince themselves mentally, like, oh, definitely they're surely doing worse than me in some way. Yeah, maybe. But that doesn't make their highlights a lie. That's what I wanted to tell you this whole video. It's not a lie. What they're doing. Those Instagram highlights that you see of those people going to the parties, like, yeah, maybe it's a lot more vague than you could assume it is. Maybe those relationships are not as strong. Maybe those are fake friends that he or she is hanging out with. Actually, that is also something that you would tell yourself to just feel better about yourself. But it is real. It is real. Like, they are actually having those experiences, and you're not. And you don't have to have those experiences, but if you could have, if those are valuable experiences that any person of your age should have, or there's no really should in this life. You shouldn't. You're not supposed to anything in life. You're not supposed to go on a road trip with your family. You're not supposed to go to a summer camp with your friends. Like, you're not supposed to do anything in life. That's an illusion. That's not a rule. It's not enforced by the law that you have to have those experiences. You don't have to. But those are experiences that some people of your age do have. And there could be things that you don't have. And like I said, you're not supposed to, but you could want to and not have it, or not have the possibility to have it, or you could have wanted something at a certain point of your life and not had it, and now you're today. You cannot go to the past. You cannot change things. And maybe you've made mistakes that cannot be reverted in your life. Maybe you've made choices that make your life less moldable, shapeable, bendable. Lessen your ability to sculpt your life towards what you would probably want it to be. Because as time passes, the less possibility you have. And if you don't do something quick, if you don't choose where you want to go and go there, you're going to stay in the same spot. And the more time passes, the less of a chance to do those things you will have. Because less time is less time. It's simple logic. And if you realize those things, and it might make you feel like shit. Definitely will. And if you compare yourself to others, it will make you feel like shit. If you are anything like me. But at least you'll be aware. At least you won't be living in a lie. A thing that I thought about when I was making a voice note about this same topic and how I feel about all of this, myself and everything. I used this analogy and I compared it to this. There's a plane passing, I don't know if you can hear it. But the only way in which you can know where an object is, any object at all, like for example, these glasses, or these headphones, the only way in which you can know where exactly they are located is if you take the position of that object in comparison to something surrounding it. The only reason, and this goes to even planets and stars and everything, the only reason for why you know where you are, exactly, like physically, is because you compare yourself to other things. The only reason where I can know which block I'm on of where I am, this is what I mean by blocks, right? The only reason where why I can know is if I look around and I count how many blocks there are before it reaches me. You know, I'm comparing myself to the floor. I'm comparing myself to the walls. That's how I know where I am in this room. And the same thing happens in life. If you don't compare yourself to others, how will you know if you're doing good? You know, and there isn't such a standard. You don't have to do good, or you don't have to do a certain way. But missing out on things is a real thing. And the experiences that the average person in your class, in your level, experience is also a real thing. People get in love. People travel, go to different places. People make friends. People hang out, have experiences. They hurt, they love, they laugh, they live. They're humans. And they burn out those chapters of their life however they want to burn them out. This is also something that I talked about in that audio, which is personal. You know, it's something that I've recorded for myself, and I wanted to make a video about it. Right now it's 11:32. It's 8th of February, 2025, and yeah, I just wanted to mention that the chapters of your life. There's a lot of people that say, because it has happened to me, some people have said this to me, that, oh, you have to burn out this chapter of your life. You have to be a kid. You have to experience your life as a teenager. And they say it in a way that implies that I should not work as hard, because I've never worked hard in my life. No, never. I've never really focused deeply on anything. I've never been consistent in anything. I've never accomplished anything major in my life. I've never been exceptional in anything in my life. So I just want to make that clear. But I do want to work hard. I know I've wasted a lot of time, because since I was 14 years old, now I'm 17 and a half to be precise. And the 26th of this month, I will be 17 and a half. Since I was 14, I realized how much you can truly accomplish in this life. You can become someone that nobody thinks you can become. You can become one of the greats. You can change the world one day. You can have experiences in really anything that you can't even imagine today. You can't possibly imagine what you could do unless you do your absolute best in every single way. You can't imagine those things because you're imperfect. You're a human being. Like, if I give you a super hard math problem, you won't be able to solve it super quickly. You probably won't be able to solve it at all. What makes you think that you could perfectly solve, or picture for that matter, what could happen in your life? No, you cannot know that. You don't know the whole world. You don't know what will cross your path. The only way to find out is by taking the path that you want to take and doing your absolute best in taking it. And making a habit of doing your absolute best almost to failure. Like in gym terms, you train to failure sometimes. And that is one of the best ways to practice. Like, probably the top best one. So working as hard as possible, being as respectful as possible to people, being as considerate as possible to yourself and your mental health and how you view yourself and your emotions and how you're feeling. Because the better you feel, the better you do things. Doing your absolute best in every way. That is the one way in which you can know what can truly happen with your life, is by experiencing it. And it is a beautiful thing. Because there has to be some mystery in things. There has to be some lack of knowledge of what could happen or what will happen. That's what makes life beautiful. And that is exactly the opposite of what happens if you become immortal. If you become immortal, there's no mystery anymore. You experience everything there is to experience in life. There is nothing to do anymore. And then life becomes pointless. You're going to run out of things to do if you become immortal. But you could say, luckily, you're not. You're a human being. You're going to make mistakes. And you're going to do good things. You're going to have good experiences and also bad experiences. But that's the beauty of being a human being. You don't know what happens next. But you get to find out. And you get to change what happens depending on what you do today. fuck, I really switched up topic like a lot. Going back to what I said at the beginning, yes, you should compare yourself to others. You should look at other people's lives and also look at yours. But especially yours. You should take a good look at your life and ask yourself, is this really what I want? Is this really, if I had the power to change things at will, if I had the power to snap my fingers and make anything appear or disappear out of my life, would I choose to be exactly where I am? Is this really what I want? If not, then at least you know now. At least you've already asked yourself that question. At least you're not living in a lie. Because it is really pathetic and really bitchy to live in such a lie. To say that, oh, I don't need those things. Because somebody else told you that, oh, you shouldn't be thinking about having more than what you have. You should be comfortable with what you have in life. And you shouldn't compare yourself to others because it's only going to make you feel like shit. No. Yes, you should. Those people are having those experiences. It is true. And you are not. And it is also true. That friend of yours has a good relationship with his girlfriend. You don't have a girlfriend. And in fact, you've had a lot of problems with girls. At least that's my case. You've never had a healthy relationship or long-lasting one. It is true. It is fucking true. And you have to be honest with yourself. Because if you're not honest with yourself and who you are, you will never change. That's something that David Goggins said. That is probably my greatest role model. If you're not honest with who the fuck you are, you're never going to change. You're never going to change. You're going to stay in the same spot. And you're going to be a pathetic little bitch for the rest of your life. You only have one life. So why would you waste it on doing what somebody else tells you to do? Like, oh, don't worry about those things. Like, no. Fuck no. Fuck you. I want to be honest with myself. I know that I'm lacking these things. I know that I would want to have them. Because I could. I could have them. And I could have had them if I hadn't made such terrible choices in the past. But I have a chance for redemption, you could say. I have a chance to change those things because I'm still young and I haven't died. And maybe, just maybe, because of what I said earlier, you don't know what could happen. Maybe something that you can't even expect could happen if you actually and genuinely do your best in every single way of where you want to go in life. And yeah, like I said, you only have one life. So why would you waste it on fulfilling somebody else's fucking fantasy of, no, you shouldn't compare yourself to others because you're going to feel bad about yourself? No, fuck off. Fuck off. Holy shit. I do whatever the fuck I want with my brain. It is my mind. If I choose to think about things and maybe end up feeling like shit, that is my choice. But if that of feeling like shit is what sparks a need for change, is what sparks, analogically, that fire within me to change and aspire and strive for something better than what I have, and have a life that nobody can imagine that I have, maybe out of this fucking country or whatever. Something completely different than what I would have if I remained a fucking bitch. Then I will do it. I will be aware of who I am by any means possible. Don't lie to yourself, please. You got this. I wish you the best. Team Philosopher out.